me just take care of this technical stuff that I didn't do quickly. 1 second, everyone. Sorry for the delayed start, and thanks to everyone for coming today. Let's see. Just need to get my stuff all working. I was kind of slow today. Okay, now I need to adjust the board. Let me see, how do I do that? Is there no way to adjust the board? Okay, I'll do this then. And again, I'm sorry for the delay. I just have to make a lot of concessions in real life to make everything happen on time. And today was not my day for that. But streaming is promised. Well, not promised, but you know, almost a promise. Okay, it looks like, let me just make sure everybody's doing well before I start looking at every single game. Just trying to whip up the chat. Cool. So welcome everyone. I will start looking at all teams now. Actually. Yeah. Sorry, I was a little disorganized today. Why is it bringing me only to my game? Okay, cool. Looks like we have a pretty decent turnout today. Strong players as usual. So Mega Nightdorf is here. Looks like he got a first round bye, maybe? A late joining, that's why. Okay, so I'm playing against Ari. Still hasn't made a move. Looks like Amazing Actor and Vedant are facing off, so let's take a look at their game. I hope you guys will forgive me for drinking water on stream again. There's a big clamp here on the dark squares. D5 looks like it'll pretty much never happen. I'm a little bit suspicious though of this decision to play knight d6. So usually when you get such an awesome pawn structure like this, you want to keep a piece on d6 in the endgame. But after this, you'll end up with a pawn here. So that was suspicious already, and this looks very strong too. Interesting developments. How do we get here? Yeah, I believe this is all theory. I don't know if c4 is the only move here, but I think that's... Knight e3, I don't remember if this is the good move or not. It might have been bishop b4. I don't seem to remember. But interesting position. I really like how white played up to this point, until knight d6. Maybe b5 is not that strong either. Yeah, this is unfortunate. Double attack, losing the knight. So, some mistakes were made. But this might not be the best move either. Yeah, it's okay actually. For tactical reasons. Let's go see someone else's game. Alright, so there's Chess King and Anand Rajan. Let's go back and see a little bit of this. So it's a 4 knights. Spanish, basically. Hey Vedant, and thank you for constantly encouraging me to get to the 1,000 mark. Yeah, we nearly have 1,000 subscribers for a small channel here, so that's pretty great. Just because I get 1,000 doesn't mean I'll automatically start getting paid or anything, but it would be a welcome change. And even if I don't get it, it's just interesting to reach that milestone. I wonder why Chess King played Bishop D7 here. I was kind of expecting this one. But maybe he was worried about G4, Knight H4, and then Knight F5, something like this. Which is pretty reasonable. This looks super tactical to me. I wonder if there's not something here. Bishop c4 looks a little bit tame. Although it's understandable, like no one really wants to lose this bishop for this knight. Here's an interesting idea. I don't know. I was wondering about knight g4 here. Well, let's see what they did in the actual game since I'm waiting. So knight g4 happened. This is more or less like the same position that you could have gotten if you played knight g4 first. So, for all intents and purposes, this is what the players were doing. I guess protecting this against the sacrifice. Some of Black's pieces are really out of the play, so I think a sacrifice on the king is a real concern. So, Anand's in a deep think, as he often will do. So let's go back and see some other options. Of course, I go back to the same option. Oh, this is just us. The reason I misclicked, I guess, is that the other game is over already, so Amazing Actor lost against the Dante, it looks like. So this was the finale of their game. So up to here was all like, no, not here. Yeah, knight e3 was a mistake. Anyway, so after the opening part, I thought white was doing okay here, actually. Oh no, white is doing well here. Yeah, so it was when they played b5 that they were kind of lost here. I thought maybe like rook b1 or knight d6. But anyway, b5 was bad, freeing this light square bishop for shenanigans. And now everybody is in a conga line having a bad time, so yeah, so it's basically mate here. So they missed the mate. They could have played queen g2 and queen g6. Oh no, not queen g6. Queen h3. So that would have been checkmate right here. Right? Is that checkmate? Yeah, it's checkmate. So that was an interesting finish, basically. Like, he just resigned here. He could have been checkmated. So going back to see our remaining game. So Anand settled on, let me see, knight e3, followed by knight f5, which is a very strong maneuver. I think he was probably taking his time because he was concerned about bishop takes h3 here. But bishop takes h3 is maybe not such a major concern, because after bishop h3, gh3, queen h3, there's bishop h2. You don't really want to step in the line of this bishop, so blocking makes a lot of sense. And you're kind of just material up. I mean, black has some play, but it's not nearly enough. It would be unclear how to activate the rooks to participate in the attack after sacrificing one of the active miter pieces. So here goes Anand. He has half as much time as Chess King, but he seems to have a plan. So let's see how that pans out. Vedant has a suggestion to use Restream again. So the reason I stopped using Restream is it was glitching and I was not able to really stream to anyone. Looks like my game's over, so good game, Ari. I think I'm gonna pause here. 7 minus 1, oh, that's 6. I'll have to think about it. I don't really feel up to playing today, but maybe. And then I'm gonna pull in. Just not feeling it today. I haven't been doing nearly enough chess to go around playing tournaments all of a sudden. Also, if I use Restream, I don't think it will impact my YouTube follower count. It will just mean that some of my viewers are on one platform, some of my viewers are on another platform. It won't be focused the way I would need it to be to reach 1,000. So, it's a good idea if it didn't glitch, but it just wasn't working for me. I'm willing to try it again though in the future, like maybe after I get 1,000. I like how in this game the breakthrough is coming on the color. So white is on the more active side, right? They're breaking through on the light squares because they have a light square bishop that's unopposed. But black still has potential to counterattack on the dark squares. So this is like a typical opposite color bishops situation. And now that white has not done anything aggressive, we might see some counterattack. It looks like Anand and Chess King have never played. That's interesting. Both are somewhat regular visitors for our tournaments and live streams. Speaking of which, I will probably be doing an endgame series pretty soon. So you guys, if you want to see more endgames, you can look forward to that. I've already started a little bit. I did a Night Circuit endgame video. And that's what's up. Yeah, I agree that Queen G6 was a blunder. I didn't really want to say it in case it would cue black to to start looking for why it's a blunder, but you know, clearly when you're on the attack like this, right? Like this is really good because you can respond to Queen C1 with Rook F1. But you don't want to let up the attack. Like here, it probably would be a good time for a prophylactic move of some kind. Like maybe like H4. Like in this position, if you play H4, Queen C1, King H2, Bishop E5, you can play King H3, and keep everything all closed up. The only issue with that might be that there might be a checkmate over here. So we might have to play g3 first, and then after queen takes c2, sorry, and then after queen takes c2, we would play king h3. This would buy us enough time to keep the attack going, potentially. So anyway. Alright, so it looks like they're going for it. I think they should have taken the perpetual here, because now that white's king is out, they might have some winning chances. So now it looks weird. Like usually in the opening and middle game, you're gonna want the king to do all this crazy stuff where he runs out in the open, you checkmate him on d7. But here, like the material's reduced. It's not your forces are not focused on your side of the board anymore. So the king's actually totally safe behind this barrier of black pieces. It's a funny twist of fate, but not totally uncommon. Amazing actors going ballistic in the game chat. That was an interesting choice. Oh, here's a fun checkmate. Yeah, rook takes f6. I love that. Let's go, checkmate. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. That was a nice finish by Anand. And Chess King put up a valiant fight as well, but just wanted too much. I think here you have to just take the draw. Like queen back to e2, black is perfectly safe with a repetition. Okay, so let's go see that tournament, I guess. Alright, so the next round's starting in like 20 seconds. Fantastic. I just wanted to show off that transition again. Okay, let's see. So Megan Neidorff should be in here, I hope. And even if it's a short tournament, that's okay. We're just going to have a short tournament then. I know that a lot of our viewers are gearing up for the resume of their academic studies and the resumption of their academic studies and so on. So it's understandable that they might not be able to be here. Okay, so games are going on. We're off to the races. This is Anand versus Vedant. And these guys have played one game. And that last game was a win for Vedant. So it's a revenge match for Anand. Coming in fast and furious with their openings here. Usually this g3 setup is innocuous against like any Sicilian, but it's still a game, and that's kind of been the zeitgeist in chess lately. People are not that interested in getting an advantage out of the opening. They're more interested in just getting something that they're very familiar with. I personally like to put as much pressure as possible on my opponent in the first 10 moves, so that I can maybe checkmate in 12 moves and then go get lunch. But you know, it's a stylistic difference, especially since I'm getting old now, and people used to actually play like that. I'm not really old, but like chess old. A4 is an interesting decision. I can totally see where they're coming from, because one of the main breaks for black is to play b5, and this stops b5. It's not going to happen now. Too bad, so sad. But whenever you play a move like a4, you also weaken the b4 square. So that could turn out to be useful to black in the future. Let's see another game real quick. And by another game, I mean the other game, because we got just a couple. It's always good to see Megan Neidorff. He's sort of like a rare visitor, but kind of OG, so that's nice. So this line where you play knight b5, it's very aggressive. Definitely the kind of move that I would expect Mega Neidorf to make, just because I know him pretty well, or I think I do. But it's actually a slight mistake, because after a6 and bishop b4, black gets this really aggressive deployment of the minor pieces, and the queen being stuck on b8, it turns out not to be a problem whatsoever for black. So it's actually pretty normal in this position to continue with just regular development like castling, not knight b5. So ironically, the knight on b5, even though it attacks the queen, forces black to move repeatedly, it actually just gives more options too. I'm sorry, it gives more time to the black side by chasing the knight. The knight's vulnerable on b5. e5's an interesting decision here. I mean, yeah, like maybe you want the pawn on e5, but it probably wouldn't have been my number one pick. There were a bunch of interesting possibilities here for black. They could have attacked like any of white's developed pieces. I'm lingering just to see like what is black going to do here? Like what are they up to? Yeah, they have to go back to f6 because otherwise queen e7 would check me. I was kind of interested to see if he'd step in something here. Of course not. We have all like pretty strong players, so I wouldn't have any Schadenfreude, not wishing anything bad on them. But you know, it's funny when there's a mate in one like on the board, and I like to just kind of sit and see for a moment. So both sides have like made and wasted a lot of moves. With knight going to b5 and back, queen going to c7 and b8. Knight going to d5 and back. A very weird opening play. And here's king d2. So it looks like Mega Neidorf is inspired by that last game where the king ran all the way all across the board to d7, so he's going to do it too. Now that black has played queen c7, I can say that I was interested in this position by the move d6, queen takes c6 check, bishop d7. It looks pretty good because the queen is forced to go only to like what, c4, and after that there's bishop b5. It looks kind of enticing. You can even be like queen b2 and then bishop b5, but that ship has sailed now that queen c7 is played. So now d6 is played under more normal circumstances. No sacrifice. Not today. Alright, let's see the other game. Vedant and Anand are still fighting. So Vedant ended up trying to use the advanced support point on b4. So Anand sidestepped that and then has no heed for this pin. He just played f4 straight away. And so Anand wants the d5 break, but we end up in this kind of French type position. This is a very Frenchy looking position. You could get this from the game opening with e4 and e6 and then d4 and d5, so that's why we call it like a French structure, because that's usually how it arises. I really like this for white actually, all of a sudden, especially because the knight on e8 looks kind of funky. It would be nicer if it was on maybe d7 where it could pressure the e5 pawn or something. But I also see the merit of keeping it on e8. Like maybe he wants to not obstruct this bishop. So when you go here, you block the bishop. Maybe stay out of the way of the queen for some reason. You know, there could be ways to justify it. So still a very interesting position. slowly. Maybe I should just have each game open in one window. It's probably a much smarter way to play chess. Okay, so it looks like after d6 he went to e3, knight g4 comes with tempo, queen f3 is not losing the queen. How crazy is that? And after h6, instead of just moving his bishop somewhere, he plays bishop pawn h3, which is kind of understandable, but also not permissible. I think it would have been better to just keep things simple, like bishop e3, let him take it, just take with the f-pawn. It's not the end of the world. This is excessively complicated, and so we see this desperado tactic. Knight takes f2. The reason he's doing it, even though he loses the knight, is because he's going to get the bishop anyway. And I think that white cannot equally well desperado their bishop because of this knight takes h1. The rook is hanging. But here, nothing's hanging. Like, if they take the pawn on g7, it's not as consequential as losing the rook on h1. So you're kind of forced to take back, and you just lose a pawn for free. So that's dictated the play thus far. By the way, if anyone in the chat is new and wants to join our Discord and get together for training or to participate in these fan battles, just comment, say something in the comment section. I will share a Discord link with you. c3, probably the most unexpected move. Like, why would you ever play c3? What is Mega Najdorf up to? Oh, I think I have an idea. Let's see. I think that when I find time to actually start playing serious chess again, I am probably going to try to like turn the way that I play chess upside down. I think it's more interesting to play interesting chess than very good chess for where I am in chess right now, so you can stay tuned for that. I'm going to start practicing my new weird way of playing chess and then put it into practice one of these days. You'll see. You'll all see. Am I like frozen in time? I'm just still thinking. Wait, no way. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, this was me being like very derpy and like born in another millennium. So it looks like he did all these things. Sorry guys. Interesting turn of events. The knight on e8 turned out to be useful. For just a moment before it was eliminated. Looks like Vedanta is going to have a repeat victory. But, no. We don't know that yet. How did he lose an exchange? So b4 came in. Bishop h3 is a very interesting decision. g6 is terribly weakening. f5 is an interesting way of sacrificing to access the dark squares. Yeah, he just gave it away. Really should not have done that. Still, black has pretty considerable counterplay, even if I do disagree strongly with the choice to play rook takes f6. I mean, maybe it's just forced that he has to do it. I mean, you also have rook f7, but that's pretty passive. Rook f7, queen g6. Yeah, after rook g7, there'll still be rook h7. No, actually, your queen's guarding it. No, yeah, rook takes and then queen g8. Yeah, so I guess actually rook takes f6 is forced, which is pretty awkward, since I just said I hate rook takes f6. See, this is why I'm not playing today. I'm not ready for this. So he sacrificed his whole rook. Okay, understandable. I think queen d5 was very impulsive. He probably still could fight back if he just played like maybe king f8. No, king f8 is rook h8. Okay, so yeah, I'm not seeing anything today. I don't really like d4 either. Like, it's clear that they want to play rook h3, so why don't you just go try to make your king kind of safe? I don't know, even bishop d8 looks more permissible than this. Maybe, maybe rook back to c6. Makes sense. Wait, what is all this? Why is he playing c2? Like, why not just play this first? Oh, the bishop's hanging, so he would protect the promotion square. Okay. Vidant's giving a free rook. Queen f2's main. Oof. So Vedant gets his revenge again. Looks like Anand has to hit the books specifically for how to beat Vedant. Okay. Meanwhile, back in Crazy Pants land over here. Just all kinds of chaos is unfolding. I think I see an interesting. Yeah, this looks interesting to me. Maybe I'm overstating how enthusiastic someone should be to make such a move. But, you know, I think if you're looking for counterplay, you have to make these kinds of plays where you want to move your king with check and then take somehow on c6. It would have been nice. King e2 though looks kind of like not in good keeping with the same. I was kind of imagining trying to take advantage of these pawns being on the same color for a moment and maybe avoiding being attacked in the light squares. But you know, that's just me. It's just my opinion. It's not too late to cause a stir with rook b1. That's right. That's what I was hoping for earlier. When you're trying to get counterplay, I think it's good to get it going lickety-split. You don't really want to wait until a situation like this, where like you could have had the same position maybe with an extra A and H pawns. Not that you'd be guaranteed. I actually kind of like the situation all of a sudden. Yeah, this is a pretty strong move. The threat's kind of transparent. Pause the video, look for a checkmate, that kind of thing. Black also has a pretty clever defending move, if you ask me. Yeah, just randomly checking the king is not so clever. That's not what I had in mind. See, that's the problem with throwing some random checks. They run out. You don't have any more. Welcome, honest bishop. Yes, fancy tactics. Mega Knight has 18 seconds. I don't think that's part of his strategy, somehow. So while I was gone for like 8 or 9 days, I scheduled a couple of tournaments that ran without me, and it looks like one of them had just a couple rounds, which was good, but the other one didn't run, so that's too bad. You guys should have joined in. Some things, I guess, they work better in theory than in practice. Wow, White is getting away with so much right now. Congratulations to Mega Knight for his major comeback with only 9 seconds on the clock, 8 seconds on the clock, 7. Is he going to do it? Is he going to make the obvious move? Yes. Rook 1 to b5. And how do we finish it? Oof, not like that. He had mate in 2. And with 3 seconds on the clock, you cannot be so materialistic. Right. Looks like he's going for the draw again, just to save the game. Ah, he flagged. That was terrible. Mega Knight had checkmate like this. So if he didn't play Rook b2, right? If he played, this is important. Hold on. Right. So back. If he played Rook b6 and Rook a6, that's mate in 2. That's the kind of thing that we would have done in class. So I hope he would have seen it, but it's okay if he didn't. It's just an unfortunate circumstance. Big oof. And we're between the rounds now. We have 26 seconds, and still, Rashid has joined, it looks like, with a half-point buy, so that's a fun plot twist. So welcome, Rashid. Not sure if you're in the chat. Looking forward to seeing a game with Rashid. So Chess King's playing something slightly London-y. Yeah, it's a London now. A weird move order. C takes d4 is not my favorite. I kind of like Queen b6, but you know what? Sometimes people don't play the London because they want to get a big advantage. I'm not playing today. I'm not ready to play. Sorry. I was pretty late and just don't feel clear-headed. Even my commentary, I'm not like totally happy with it. So I would rather not play. Maybe another time. I also haven't played in a while because I've been like at sea, and then like before that I was doing a lot of research stuff, so I'm trying to keep it all in balance. If I can start practicing more regularly again, I will start playing more regularly again too. But for now, I will try to make some content. I also would like to get to 1,000 subscribers, so I want to put out some content that's like worthy for a channel that makes revenue before I get to that point. So that's kind of my focus at the moment. I've also gotten some requests recently for content that is not related to chess that I have some interest in. So I've been deliberating that too. Mega Nightdwarf remembered some of his tactics all of a sudden. This is the annoying pin. We pressure the annoying piece. Well, we put pressure on the pin piece. That's right. It's funny how like both sides had these bishops making pins, like right, this is a pin, but because the knight couldn't go to c3, there was no tactical opportunity to take on d5. That's the difference when you play these kinds of setups with c3. Alright, let's see about this one. So, rolling all the way back here. It looks like Vedant does not worry at all about trading all these pieces and going to an isolated queen pawn situation. I would probably be a little bit concerned though. Also, white could have just played h3, so there was no need for this kind of counterplay. I thought a good combo here would have been rook takes, queen takes, bishop takes f3. But that was not meant to be, it looks like. I'm not sure if I like black's position or not. Like, it's kind of interesting. But it's also kind of like you have pawn weaknesses and white has no weaknesses. The knight on d4 is pretty much unopposed. Yeah, I think I still like white here. Alright, let's see. Where's that third game? We have a newcomer. Okay, so this is their game. I think it's dangerous to allow this pin to persist like that. Oh wait, this is against Mega Nightdwarf. We just looked at this game, right? So wait, where's the third game that I haven't seen yet? Rashid, Chess King. Oh, Amazing Actor and Anand. That's right. Okay, sorry guys. I was like, wow, this is eerily similar to the game I was just looking at. There might be some theory for this too, but I don't know it. I think Anand's realizing something. He might have played d4 just like out of habit, but there's actually some complication because of these bishops staring at each other. What's up, Eric? It's been like literally 10 years, right? Long time no see. How are you holding up? What's going on? It's funny to run into people on YouTube. So it looks like Anand is just sacking the d-pawn. Doesn't care. Lots of development. That might be a sound decision. I think I might have chosen another way, but you know, to each their own. That's fine. So, Amazing Actor's gonna clap back with e5. Interesting. I imagine this is going to lead to some liquidation, so we can come back to this. And first see this one. So, it looks like Mega Nightdwarf accepted a worse structure by playing Queen d7. So he's messed up his king side. But after all these trades, still has an active bishop. I don't really like black's position here. Like, I think so g3 is good. It just protects h2, right? White still has no weaknesses, and going c5 and then c4 gives up this d4 square again. Like, I thought one of the good things about messing up this structure was that you deprive the knight of its good square on d4. Additionally, the D pawn is just super weak. Like, how do you protect it in a situation like this? So Eric, if you're still in the chat and not just saying what's up and then running away, I think I heard you're at I think I met your advisor recently or something. That was kind of interesting. Let me know if you heard anything about that. Also, you can reach out on Discord. Let me share a Discord link for you. I'm going to transition for a second for everybody while I share a Discord link. Anybody can accept this invite link, of course, if you guys are interested. Here it comes in the chat. Boom. Discord invite link. It is done. And now I'm going to swing right back. Okay, so in this game, Vedant accepted a worse structure and also accepted being down a rook again. Looks like Chess King might get the best of Vedant this time. I think he might have been looking only at checkmate or something. Hard to explain, really. It's hard to argue with trading all the pieces, right? That's the nice thing about material. If you're in a position to trade pieces, having more material is a huge luxury. In positions where material doesn't matter, you know, if you can't trade pieces, that's kind of a shame, but I think this is not one of those situations. Alright, let's check a little bit more from Rashid against Mega Najdorf. So this knight is flying in, disturbing Mega Najdorf on many fronts. Such a fantastic knight may never be seen again on this earth. Only in space. That's where you see awesome knights like this one, flying through space. The king's blushing because it's check. I imagine that after the king overcomes its insecurities, the knight will fly somewhere like, yeah, d7 is what I was thinking. This is a very unfortunate choice, and of course, black resigned. Mega Najdorf donated 393 points to Rashid. That's crazy. I guess that's what it means to be provisional. But, you know, I think all these problems really originated with something that Mega Najdorf definitely knows from his time at Kings and Queens Chess Academy. That you should not let this happen to your king unless you have fantastic compensation. So that was kind of unfortunate. Yeah, Eric, I think that the last time I saw Eric Aparicio, who's in the chat right now, it was, well, we randomly ran into each other sometime in like 2015 or 2016, I think. But it was really in like 2013 that we saw each other at Rutgers, at the Rutgers Chess Club. So it's good to hear that you're in med school. I imagine that's a good thing. It wouldn't be my cup of tea, but I can see how it's nice. I don't know if you know, but my brother, I don't know if he went through like med school, but he is a certified nurse anesthesiologist now at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. So you guys might have run into each other while you were here in the eastern part of the country. If I don't know, I'm just saying wildly, you guys have a similar area of expertise. I know that like a huge number of people do medical stuff, but you never know. It would be a crazy coincidence if you guys had met. And I've heard that a lot of the people who went to Rutgers now try to play chess with people at like libraries or coffee shops or bars. I think that's a kind of nice way to, like, a nice bookend for playing chess in university. You can always pick it up again with random strangers, and it's a good time. I know I like to do that when the chance arises. COVID has made it kind of tricky though, even to play like an actual tournament. Um, Eric, I don't know if you're aware, but right now I'm in Louisiana. So if you're ever um, around New Orleans or something, just hit me up. We could maybe get together again sometime, play some chess. Yeah, this has been quite the Bon Cloud chess day, Prod. That's true. Mr. Amazing Actor. All the kings have been walking, yeah. Have we had like any games where the kings don't go for some kind of crazy walk? I smell tactics. I think it's gonna be tactical this time. Oh, and I missed a checkmate over here. It looks like Vedant succumbed to Chess King's raging being up a rook. And he got 99 points. If you're having material problems, I feel bad for you, son. This is straight bullying, this end sequence. Just like a million checks. And then checkmate. Okay, let's see what's going on here. So the queen got greedy, and I think this might be a problem. This is what I was seeing tactically. I don't think there's really a great in-between move to get out of this one. Maybe there's a way to cope, but I just don't think it's good. Yeah, it looks like Amazing Actor doesn't think it's good either. He just resigned. Interesting. Okay, so the next round is due in 50 seconds. Why is it so long? I should have made it like 30 seconds. People are lamenting their lost rating in the chat. You know, once you're over like 2,000 or 2,100, it's pretty easy to like you get like one little point at a time, and you lose like 30 points at once. That's pretty normal. Okay, so it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. We still have 5 people in contending, and we're going to the. I think we're going to the 4th round. I can't count. That's a major challenge for me. Horrendous quality of games today. I mean, maybe, yeah. I don't know if I would go that far, but it just might be. Okay, so we have Vedant against Rashid, and we have Amazing Actor against Chess King. And Chess King is maybe being like celebrating somewhere. It says he left the game. I think maybe his career is over now that he has won so much rating in one game from one person, and he's going to enjoy learning a new game, such as racquetball or squash. Yep, still hasn't made a move. I like Honest Bishop's comment. Said I confused my opponent, but most of all I confused myself. Love that. So Vedant's going for some kind of wild gambit, and he has the question, when's the next simul? That's a great question. I should start simuling again. I think that would be lots of fun. Maybe I will start simuling in September. I want to train a little bit, because I've barely touched chess at all. I've been trying to like get a manuscript out and stuff like that. But now that it is getting a bit more smooth, I could, you know, get into fairly good shape to the point where I can play simul without it being utterly embarrassing. I just don't think people want to watch me play badly, so I want to like keep the quality a little bit high. Okay, here comes Eddie the E-Pawn. And the Freddy Knight is going to probably have to move. What will Rashid choose? Rashid has made significant gains since the last game. It is now 1737. That's interesting. I wonder if Vedant is going to just like keep pushing. Just go nuts. He could have taken the b7 pawn here, but he was not greedy. Yeah, I thought that maybe queen d4 was going to come up immediately after lose this bishop. Suddenly he wants to trade every piece. Interesting. Usually when you have like full control, like even if you're standing in someone's face, it's good to just bring some support. So that when they take, you take back and you still end up with somebody at the end of the day on the square. So see how white is going to struggle to get around this very strong queen. But black also has to complete development. Like this knight looks like a dumpster fire, this rook needs to do something. So both sides have a similar problem that they're not getting these pieces out. Let's switch to this game real quick. We've not given any attention. So it's one of those openings where the structure is very symmetrical because we've both lost the e-pawns. I don't think I'm familiar with the c4 and d3 option. It doesn't seem that sensible to me. And again, we see people just moving the same piece over and over again. They went to e6, and after d4, it's clear they should never have gone to e6 because d5 will win a piece, so they have to move again. Now white has a ton of space. Some people pay good money to have a knight on d4 like this, right? But here Chess King just gave it for free. It's pretty typical when you see this maneuver to see also h4, h5. So I think it's pretty common for this maneuver to happen after white has already castled, and this is not such a major option for them. I'm not surprised at all to see f4, but also I wonder if it was better to hold off on it, because it does objectively weaken the g4 square. Queen c8 is an interesting choice. I thought we were going to see knight takes d5. The idea of knight takes d5 is that if they take it, you just take this with check, and that's basically game over. So if you take and then they desperado the rook, you can take in between because you're hitting their queen. So they would have to take back, and then you still get to take the rook. I think that the combination of winning a pawn and ruining their pawn structure makes it worth it to give the two minor pieces for the rook here. But maybe the weakness of g7 makes that not the case. I'm not too sure. Anyway, you can play bishop f6 at the end there and attack all this, and so I would probably choose that over queen c8. Just queen c8 looks kind of weird to me. I get why, I just don't see how come. Yeah, these knights are definitely like bosom buddies. They'll go nowhere without each other. If one goes, the other will follow. Oh, Rashid's your friend from Hackathon? That's great. Definitely, you can share the link. I sent a link earlier, but I know that you're in the server, so you can share your own link as well. Everybody's welcome to join the Discord. I actually don't like it when the knights are like such close friends. I think it's like they are, they're interfering with each other somewhat. It's like they both want to be on g4, but you can't like pick up this knight and like make it a super knight. That would be cool, but you can't do that. If you do that, definitely they'll call a TD and say this guy doesn't know how to play chess, and we don't want that. I'm kind of wondering why not bishop takes f5 here. Like, can we not just take all this stuff? Okay, like now he's really asking for it. Like, what is the deal with this f5 pawn? Yeah, it's just dead to me. Okay, we'll come back to this. Meanwhile, but Vedant he's traded the queen, got a tempo by developing his bishop. He doesn't want to take this pawn because of b6, trapping the bishop. Now Rashid's going out with g5. Interesting choice. I was half expecting king g6, but besides the knight having an easy out with knight e7, there's also bishop c2. That could be pretty unpleasant, so this makes a lot of sense. Probably here I would have played king g7, not h5. It's a little ambitious. And normally people say doubled pawns are bad. Normally they say doubled pawns to the edge of the board are especially bad. But I'm going to play devil's advocate here and say that these pawns might not be the worst pawns you've ever seen. Even if they end up both getting captured, I still think I could get away with saying that you've seen worse pawns in your life. Well, this knight is on a tear. What a twist. Black has to take the light square bishop. Oh yeah, that's a good observation that I did not mention. So after the move bishop e3, knight takes b3 looks pretty enticing. Probably he avoided it though. Like, obviously if he plays bishop takes d4, knight takes d4, that's good for black. You get just two clean pieces for a rook. But I think after knight takes b3, a takes b3, maybe he was worried about losing this a pawn. But I don't know if it's such a major concern. Like, maybe you play rook d3 and the b3 pawn's weak, so if they take it, you just play, like, I don't know, maybe you'd lose all of them. That might be a problem. No, you just play rook takes b3. Protecting, keeping pressure. Yeah, knight takes b3 is an interesting option. I'm not sure it's, like, clearly the best in this case, though. Okay, so some bullying later. Pieces flew off the board. The main factor here is that, like, black wants to really take on g2, but there's no way to force it through. I think even, like, playing h3 in a hopeful way doesn't make sense. Oh, black resigned here, huh? Oh, it looks like he just blundered, like a move later. Yeah, that's terrible. Too bad to see it. But still, good try, Rashid. Rook takes b2 looks a lot more reasonable to me. I think this was a good try, because if rook takes c7, knight g4, it's still anyone's game. Let's check this one out real quick. So he took it. Rook g3 is like basically saying, I didn't lose a pawn. There was no pawn there. He's just totally ignoring that any mistake was made. I don't know about this bishop g4 option. Like, the light squares are pretty weak. Maybe you should play like this. Just go away. Just not get taken. But the light square bishop here is not good. Like, you see, these pawns are all on light squares, and they can't move easily. So letting white get away with taking it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Probably if I were white, I would not have traded queens. I would have probably played like queen e2 or something, or maybe I don't really want to lose this pawn, but I don't know, I just feel like the pressure's off when you trade these queens. Another king walk. Well, not king walk, but, you know, the king is doing something useful over here. I think that, so b3 looks like a pretty good move. h5 seems to be ignoring a very real problem in the position. Yeah, after knight takes e7, the king's busy, c7 falls, and then they can just come right back with knight b5. And I think since the knight can easily find a home, this is just like white winning material for nothing. And even though white is still down a pawn, their structure is much better. At least it seems that way to me. g6 runs into a pretty normal problem that we've already discussed. Bishop g5. Yeah, very tense. The Vidant's game was. Oh yeah, thanks for reminding everyone, Vidant. So we're doing an invitational tournament. I think we'll run this for like a full year, and then all the winners of the fan fights will get to play in a sort of like championship style event, which should be pretty fun. I think that'll be cool, and I will definitely play that one. Once we schedule it, I will double my chess rating and play very well, of course. I definitely will not be too busy with work to dedicate time to chess, and I definitely will not make any blunders. There's one move that stands out to me here for white. It was not King G1. I'm not sure why he played King G1. That's a very weird move. It was Bishop F4. That was my idea. Because if you play Bishop F4 now, and they play Rook E8, you can just take. That's pretty good. But now it's like a real problem, potentially. What shenanigans are we witnessing? He's trying to take this for free. And he is almost just letting it happen. He could take on D4. Something doesn't feel right about this for Chess King. By the way, these guys have played the most out of any of the games that we've seen so far, I believe. Where Amazing Actor has 3.5 to Chess King's 2.5. So he has a full point lead coming into this game in their personal score. So Bishop takes F6, guards the knight on D4. So I don't see why he hesitated there. Like, it's clearly what you have to do. If I were black and I chose the same decision to let the knights both come off, I would have played this move in between. Oh, actually, no, that doesn't work, because they could play King E7. Never mind, sorry. It'd be nice if they took it, because then you would mess up their pawn structure. And winning the D pawn, too, is perfectly good. I'm just being picky, and also half blind, after not playing chess for a while. I still get the feeling that white has the upper hand. Rook G3, this strikes me as just kind of like meh. Like, okay, I see what you're trying to do, but it's not the kind of move that would really inspire me to begin with. Just going for cheap shots. In the words of the great Lev Zilbermans, it's a cheap shot. Will Chess King notice what's going on here? Rook G4 is maybe a rash decision. I'm not sure about it. But it's also probably an acceptable decision because of King E7. The rook can't stay. Well, actually, yeah, this is going to be a sort of passive defense. It might be holdable, but it looks tricky. Oh, actually, rook takes G6 is right there. That's a problem.
don't tell me Black's gonna run over here with their king. I hope not. Because that makes no sense. But that's what he's been doing for the last few moves, like dancing with the king. Dancing with myself. Yeah, he goes to the queen side, then the king side. Too much dancing. Alright, it looks like Amazing Actor wins. Cool beans. Alright, let's see what's going on back here. So 45 seconds to the next pairing. I wonder what the pairings will be. Right now, it's tied between Vedant and Anand, who both have 3, and their tie breaks are 6.5 and 4, respectively. So right now, Vedant is leading. I think based on the rating of his opponents, or maybe their cumulative scores. Some of the people have buys, and whenever you have a buy, it kind of hurts your tie break chances. But in the US tournaments, there's this thing that people call the Swiss Gambit, where you'll take a first round bye, and even though it hurts your tie breaks, it will give you easier opponents for the rest of the tournament. Sometimes you can take first that way. So it looks like we don't have any more pairings, so the computer threw the confetti, and congratulations to Vedant for his first place, and second place to Chess King. I think this is the first second place for Chess King? I'm not sure. And Anand Rajan, I think he's a regular finisher, and this time on third, so. Or wait, no. Third? Well, second. Anand's on second, sorry. So Anand's on second, Chess King's on third. And, yeah, that was pretty great. Pretty high performance, considering this is just a small stream. So, if you guys want to do this in the future, just join in. I will schedule the next one pretty soon, like in the next couple of days. I'll schedule it, and we can talk about the finale when we do our championship at some point too. So that'll be really cool. Thanks everyone for showing up, and of course, leave a comment. Like even if you don't get some message in the chat with the Discord link, which I posted at least once. If you want to join the Discord, just leave a message in the YouTube comment section. I always respond to people if there's something to respond to. And with that, you guys can look forward to some more content coming up, my Endgame series, among other things. So, thanks for tuning in, everyone, and I will see you next time. And probably I'll be streaming from my new place, because I'll have a place to stay at that